Jams the thing up. Technology. Oh, technology. Well, here we are. Welcome to microraver builds. Daily live stream. Maschinen Krieger. Daily work in progress. Oh, we're gonna look at the little pieces of plastic this morning. And then I'm gonna unbox. No, I'm not gonna unbox. It's gonna be a WIP review today. Yes, sorry. Midstream. Halfway through this hour-long session, we're gonna be taking a look at a work in progress that I have been trying to think about a little bit, but it's the Meng T-90A. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. This is a real cool kit I picked up. Oh my goodness, jeez, sticker shock. Holy fuck! Did I really fucking pay that much for this tank? Yes, I did. $99.95. When will retailers ever stop? What's the difference between $99.95 or $99.99? I think the $99.99 numbers 0.99, not quite a full dollar, a cent off. Yeah, so the Meng T-90. I'm gonna say Meng, just because I don't know. I tried saying Meng, M-E-N-G. How would you pronounce that? Quite honestly, I haven't heard too much pronunciation of that tank, that Chinese tank modeling kit. You know, here, this the problem with a lot of tech these days is that you gotta restart some of these programs. You just can't keep them running. What does that mean exactly? What does that mean? What it means is that every so often people get a little bit. Oh, good. Oh, tech. Oh, tech. You bone me, tech, every time. If you had a digital assistant to take care of all this, you don't need a digital assistant. Just need an assistant. Well, there we go. See, one. That goes up. Very good. There we go. There. Okay. I think I'll bring that down to 1. I put that there. Does it end up being, yeah, it goes down. This will go down to 2. I had a viewer, and that's just my computer viewer. I since learned to calm down. Well, here we are, 5 minutes in. You got to look at my work table for 3 minutes while I dicked around. Whip, whip, whip. The thing about a daily live stream is that it keeps you motivated. Because this is somewhat difficult part of the whole process sometimes for me, especially if it gets a little daunting, but I'm beginning to appreciate with the Krieger kits. I'll tell you this: I really appreciate the effort you will put into something because, sorry, please. Of the very few kits I've built so far in my 2-year return to the modeling hobby, I've realized there are good kits and there are bad kits out there. And good kits, I mean, bad kits, I mean, in the sense that they're either too many parts that are meaningless. You heard me about part count, or they don't fit, even though they are. It's a neat thing. You put them together, like my M4 patent from Monogram, and there's a huge seam line or whatever. You got a lot of major problems. My T90 we'll talk about midstream. That in itself had issues with the mold. I should have sent it back. There's part of the hull that actually had a big chunk of plastic that didn't fill in the mold, so that wasn't nice. I had to fill it in with some putty. But with these kits, I must admit, not that I built a lot of Hasegawa kits. In fact, I don't know. I think this is my very first one. What Hasegawa? Anyway, the plastic is really nice. This is the same, pretty much the same quality plastic as the Wave one I did, the Wintermute kit previously, and that was a very good kit too. That's a good kit. So anyway, oops. 99 for that Meng T-90 versus, I think it was the same price for this, and I would say Hasegawa has got a little better engineering, slightly better. I mean, they're good on their own merits. There are certain things about Meng I would not discount. They're a good company, and I've bought many a kit from them. Anyway, I think if I modeled this piece, what the hell am I holding? This is his leg. He's got two of them. Oh, I've already put a gender to my creation. He is going to be the camel. So if you can see, it's got these two weird 1, 2, 3, 4 jointed legs. And so, yeah, articulated parts. Here, I'll show you what parts move. That was one thing I noticed about these things. Now, if you are putting this together, please be aware that they have, this one should have restricted, there, that's one, and you can feel it stop. There's 2 little grooves in there that stop the joint from overextending on this one. And in this one, you've got this happening. Here, let me show you. This thing slides down and up, preventing hyperextension. I guess this as well goes like that. And then yet another articulated joint there. And this has a very limited range, maybe from there to there. That's about, what, 5 degrees. But for whatever the reason, you can have, that's fully extended. Getting excited. This is going to be a neat, this is actually, now that I'm seeing it come together, this is going to actually, is this going to be bigger than the Gladiator? I wonder. Even from here, this is 1/20th scale, and even from here you can see it's going to be towering over the snowman. Well, yeah, if I'm to look at the scale correctly, there's a whole pilot figure, like the whole Santa figure, like that, will sit inside of the cockpit. It's a full figure that's sitting inside this vehicle, not just a head. But again, Krieger scale, that's something to be. I'm not sure what I have my theories. I haven't really read too much about scale, other than certain scales were used. An interesting thing, though, talking about scale, I think it was the 1/72nd scale. And the reason why I think Airfix was the company, and I forget where her or who, so I will not take full credit. Who can take full credit for a factoid? But what I did here was that 1/72nd scale was popular. A lot of kits that were made. Why? Because they were during the war. That scale of kit was easy to build. There was just enough details on it that when you saw a plane in the sky, you could tell the difference between Spitfire and a Focke-Wulf. You can tell the difference between the good guys and the bad guys, probably. So when the little boys were out in the field, or whoever, anybody that was there, it's like, yeah, look, check it out, man. Look at it. You could see the silhouette of a Spitfire, which would probably be a heartwarming sight in Britain during the what was the name? Was it the Blitzkrieg? And I'm not quite sure what the that war is really not my gen. And it's funny the way I look at it. It's like here, there's a predominance of armor enthusiasts and hulks and relics left over rusting from previous wars, and that was the most recent one. So there you go. No, I shouldn't really even say that. It's not even the most recent war. I'm sure there's enough wasted T-90s littering the friggin' desert over in Iraq or Syria. Shit, man. Yeah. So anyway, where are we now? We will look at. So unfortunately, oh wow, almost 15 minutes. 13 minutes. Other neat aspects of the build out were revealed. Maybe if I didn't get too much of the build, which is okay. You just so you got to keep picking away at it. It's a good distraction. I mean, I spent basically maybe a half an hour last night or this morning on it. That's it. Just so I have something to talk about. No, that's terrible. No, that's a good thing because you sure put through. So the future of the legs, my apologies. Like I said, yeah, the legs will be done in 24 hours. Right. No. But still, this is going to be fun. You see this? The cabling. It's going to be the cabling that's going to be happening. Actually, now that I look at it, I think I spoke about the bilateral symmetry of humans or animals or things. So this definitely is exhibiting left and rightism. In other words, don't fuck it up. There is a sequence. Actually, Hasegawa has gone ahead and done it good. I don't know why. I'm not quite sure the thing. I don't do it, and I'm not sure if I would even recommend building models this way. But I've seen people. I guess they clip all the parts off the sprue at once and put it in. Like I saw them put it in a bowl or a big pile. Then they clean each one up, and then they put the parts together. Which I don't know why I feel I just basically take off what I need, what I'm currently working on. I mean, I made a mistake and clipped off 22 and 23, which are both on one sprue. You have two sprues for this build-up. And the way they're set, they're identical sprues, but it's the way you apply them that make them left or right. So there's a lot of note the direction. Note the direction. And again, note the sequence. There's no actual sequence going on, but oh, I don't know. I didn't screw it up this time, and oh, being a little careful on your build, and I will tell you now, it's up to you how people build. I've seen people do a one day, one build. One day, one build. I don't know about that. Sure, if you've only got one day to build it, why not? But why waste a, $120 kit and, build it shitty? And you have to fix it with a bunch of putty later on. Fuck that. No, just build it carefully and have fun and enjoying the thought that went into something. Because sometimes you really build something and you go, what the why did I build it? Why did they make me build it like that? Why didn't I just... So as I'm going through here, I have noticed a lot. This was a neat little... It reminded me of like a small little bone you'd find in your eardrum or your throat or something. Little tiny articulated greeble-like moving part. But yeah, it's going to be a... as I see this standing up like that, I can't help but be reminded of a robotic arm that builds cars. Have you've seen those things? Everybody's seen those things. So I'll give this, if I get a good go at it, I might get through stage 8, maybe 9. What the hell is this? Oh, well, this is an interesting little detail. This is, as we move into number 10, we start to get, that's it for the legs. You get the feet on it. That's going to be cool. Then we get right into the body. And then we have an assembled ordering of parts. And then there's the back page, the cockpit assembly. This thing looks like a helmet. The whole thing. Weird. I like these builds. I do. I mean, if you're bored building a tank, I mean, wow. This is something that kind of goes beyond a lot of things. I mean, it's of a complexity. It's almost like a movie prop type, like, it is. What am I saying? That the initial concept for these Kriegers were basically so he scratch built them, took photos, and then they made kits out of them. Nitto. I'd like to see a list. I think there is one out there, and I think I will find it, and I will print it out. But in terms of absolute full-on list of every Maschinen Krieger kit that's been put out there, no scratch builds, no garage kit stuff, just the pure out kit, so to speak, of the world, of the Krieger world. You know what I mean? I think I've seen a few workbenches out there, or collections anyway, of people's Maschinen Krieger stuff, and it's just wicked. It's like awesome. The intensity of fandom, of followings, of followers, and I think somebody said it was, this is the modeling community is so small. Well, sure. I mean, if you look at an overall percentage of the world population, yes, we do make up of all of 1%. No, 0.001% even. And if imagine if it was that, still, 1 billion people, or how many people? 6 billion, 0.001%. You know, that small modeling community ends up being, like I'm saying, like 5,000 guys doing shit. That's a lot of creativity out there, and thank God for the internet. All right, that's enough WIP blabbing, and tomorrow more leg talk on the camera LUM-168. So we're going to take a little bit of a break now. We've come to that time. If you have not chosen, and if you have a choice, and if you did have a choice, well, there's no choice to be made. It's been made. The T90 is coming up, so stay tuned. And I'll set up for a little bit of a WIP review. All right, okay, here we are. Close enough. Close enough, but not too far. No. I'll start off. I'm sure most people, if you were, you probably are watching this, and after skipping the boring kind of blabbing about whatever the hell that fucking Maschinen Krieger is, here we are to the juicy part of the WIP work in progress kit review. And people usually are drawn to something they have an interest in. And so, why would anybody be interested? There's a lot of good reasons. Oh, absolutely. There are probably a strong following of Minge builders. I'm sure they love these kits. I am one of these guys that love these kits. I've seen this kit built. The price tag, of course, would probably keep most neophytes, or how can I say it, those that are not committed to the cause, away. $100 kit is, you're reaching. But why would you pay $100 for a kit? Well, there's probably a lot of good reasons, but let's take a look at why this box would entice you. Let's have a bit of a now, the T-90A. What is the T-90A? In and of itself, it's the main battle tank of Russia. And these things are active as we speak. Meng has come up with this, the different series. Tyrannosaurus. Oh, like a dinosaur. Okay. T-Rex. 1/35th scale. Yes, this is a 35th scale tank. And a very awesome painting and depiction of the tank in, again, very nice box. It's got a, I don't know if people care about this, but it's got this kind of the funky matte finish, which I see as a very common kind of graphic design element these days. Yeah, of high quality book. So yeah, they want the matte finish, satin finish, and that's nice. Nice. And I do not see the name. Anyway. English warning, this product is for 14 above only. A precision model kit. This is not a toy. No, it is not a toy. But there are moving parts on this. The turret. My goodness. Here is some great reference. Obviously, Meng has provided and not come short. Look at this tank. This box is actually showing some fading age. Let's get a year on this. There we go. So 2012, and as I speak, we are looking at a 6-year-old kit. But I'm sure there's a lot to be said, and a lot of stuff has been written and put on the box. So if you are a reading type individual, you can go ahead and read away. I, at this point, probably am not so much into the reading. Yes, this tank is faded off into the WIP distance. Uh-oh. Will I finish it? That all depends on how inspired I get with this kit review. Let us look. Well, that's the box. I don't see my instructions anywhere. No, I didn't get a chance to put the decals on. Let's take a look. I think it's... Oh, I gotta have all those instructions. Oh, no, what am I saying? In front of me all this time. Here, check this out. And, you see something for so long, it just becomes part of the scenery. You forget what it was. That, folks, was that in the back behind the Girls und Panzer was the instruction manual for the Russian main battle tank. Okay, so, do you see the dust? That's fucking funny. And an awesome instruction manual. Yes. Like I said, I think I mentioned it earlier. Meng, good, bad. I mean, the actual, there's some problems, like I said, with the thing getting not enough plastic in one of the molds. But that's okay, because it's just a manufacturing defect, which I fixed on my own. Pretty good in terms of their instruction manual. Never did see a lot of Russian before in instruction manuals, or anywhere for that matter. But here we are in a new world order where Russia is there, definitely keeping up their end in the modeling community. Oh my goodness, there is an awesome European site of I can't think of the name of that forum group. What was it? The What If Army. Is that it? Oh man. Anyway, and it's all fantasy armor, like people kit bashing the hell out of all of the, just basically another version of Krieger. Unmitigated fun. What was to be said? You know what? I'll tell you something that was fun. You see this? This is the suspension in this, and it actually works. These wheels, I'll show you something, actually have a these things actually move. Do not glue. Again, teeny tiny warnings. Don't glue these. Do not glue because they will be moving. Here, I'll show you. Here, let's take a close look at this. Not breaking. Okay, I'll show you what I broke off 10 million times already. Where the yeah, here. Let me get the tweezers out. I've got the, oh my god, that's poor. It's got the auto white balance going on this dumb camera, so it's like freaking out. I'm lighting it under, what is this? This is a tungsten balanced neon safety light. What a horrible light to try to shoot anything in. You should know better. Anyway, gives a fuck. Right there is the antenna that used to be little tiny thing. Came up here, extended maybe about that high, and I think it was a piece of styrene, a piece of plastic that they wanted. Here, I'll show you a fuck up. You see in here, you see all of that extra, it looks like like too much paint. In fact, that's not too much paint, that's too much CA glue that went down on that photo etch. And it didn't think it mattered. It did. It held the paint in there, and it looks dumb. Well, I don't like it. Well, maybe it should be like that. Oh, the details. The details. You know, this tank has been, this kit has been so well modeled out there and painted. You know, maybe that's what stopped me in my tracks. I saw it, but oh, forgive the dust. It's a beautiful tank in itself, though. The detail. This freaking turret damn near killed me. Man, the parts to this. Actually, there you can see what the... That's funny. Derp, derp, derp. Oh, that's wide. Wide it. There, you can see in here the... You can see the natural color, and then I went with this olive drab, and that was a nice, just kind of a brighter green. Did I get that right? You know, hold this tank, and the profile compared to the Sherman. These are both 135th, so you can compare them very easily. But holding it in my hand, you can feel how waffa thin this tank is. Fuck. This thing sitting on the horizon, just kind of crawling over the peak of a sand dune, man, at the right angle. You'd never be able to hit that. So, here, let's take a close. Oh, no. I was about to show you the... Oh, damn you. Shit. This is reactive armor on the side here. Damn. I think I felt something break. Careful. Too many delicate parts when handling this. But inside here, and all to show this, is the suspension here. So look at that. It's still got the... so in here, there you go. You can see that each of these... this color change is just fucking freaking me out. What's wrong with you, camera? Oh. So yeah, the independent suspension here. What the hell is that? There's something stuck to the bottom of this. I believe it's silver paint. Oh well. So lots of detail on this hull, and it was a very, I guess at this point, not enjoyable. I shouldn't say it was uncomfortable, but no, it was a lot of parts, and it took a while to build that, weeks, more than I really liked. But I went to town, and again, road wheel painting. I think I have images of the build out, a few of them anyway, on Instagram, so you can see the detail on here. It's always nice. I mean, that was one thing I saw out there on the rack, was a Tamiya, what do you call it, black, that was used for to simulate rubber, and I think it looks great. And those are the rubber. It's funny, on the some of the painting schemes, these road wheels are different colors. I just find that just bizarre looking. But maybe let's talk a little bit more about this the turret here. And of course, within it there are parts, enough parts so that if you choose to model the hatches open, then oh look, very small pieces of plastic, careful. And oh, they talk a lot about the thing about this tank. I believe they were it's advanced. Tanks these days are vulnerable to laser targeting. I mean, you get this painted with a laser, and then they just send the missile, rocket grenade at it, whatever they're going to use to blow it up, and try to blow it up. But this thing was able to confuse, I suppose, the incoming laser targeting by sending out its own laser from the front of these things, I guess. Is that how it worked? Anyway, some new fangled technologies out in the battlefield to help give your army the strategic advantage. Look at the size of that freaking thing, man. The cannon, the gun. I'll go right to this part here. What's waiting to be added to this, to finish this T90, and to do it justice, I wanted to put on this main gun barrel I picked up. It's a turned piece of aluminum. Ooh, you can hear it. So yeah, oh wow. I actually never really did get a close look at this. I bought it, picked it up, and threw it in the box with the rest of the crap for this tank that I was gonna. But not looking at all these little other brass fittings. Let's just bask in the glory of this. What the heck? I forget where this one came from. Sorry. Maybe I'll post a link later in it. But here you go. Oh, it's hard to focus on metal here. But if you can see some of the detail. There we go. Nice. And then it's, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got the tapering, of course, the proper tapering. And it has been, of course, hollowed out so that the, the diameter, the thickness of things. I can get the calipers out. I can get the calipers out if you want. You can go check out the, the ID, inner diameter dimension versus the OD, the outer diameter. And I mean, that is something that why do people go through the length of this? Well, it's because of the accuracy. And if you look at this, come here, said barrel, you'll see what I mean. Why accuracy? And I mean that. Now, how do I know it's accurate? I don't. I'm just kind of hoping that. You know what? No, seems to be this. Looks like they got the length right. Sammy, looks like we got the diameter right. And somebody has thought about it and spent the time to turn this piece of aluminum out and selling it. And I am damn sure that it is of more accuracy than what's on there now. If it isn't, why does this thing exist? And if it is, then it will one day become part of this build. No, I'm not inspired to finish this off. Oh my goodness. The fuck. My goodness. That I would need to really be inspired by Russian tanks to finish this one off. It's got camo to go. It's got the road wheels. Oh my goodness. If I were to finish this, it would be, I would, oh, see, you don't want to do that. You don't want to just finish it for the sake of finishing it. Why? All the work you put into something and then you spoil it by some shitty camo job. The last layer, he looks like he took a spray can. I'm almost content just to leave it, deckle it, and don't do the camo just because it's. I wish I could like pay my buddy to do the camo. Hey, $20, just do it nice. That might be a question just for the hell of it. Hey man, if you're not busy, can you do up a nice camo scheme for my Russian tank? Now, he doesn't build, I don't think he's ever built Russian armor, my tank friend. My armor building, my model building friend. I shouldn't call him, he's moved on from, no, he's gone back to the Jagdpanzer, but he builds German, British, and I don't think he's built a Russian or mostly Allied tanks. Funny about that, isn't it? But no, he's a bit older than me. Not a bit older, not much older, 10 years older. What a person chooses to model and what keeps them interested. Those are the key factors in any hobby, of course. So if you're not interested in something, why the hell would you bother doing it? I am going to clean this mess up and do a little bit more of a build for the remainder of the show. Yeah, just use my lapel mic. Actually, the sound of this wasn't too bad, I noticed, but it helps to have good sound. Here, let me put this back in its little Tupperware container. I will. No, this is gonna. Where was it anyway? It was back here. Yeah, I think we've. Do that one. Deal with that in a bit. Deal with that in a bit. Oh, the T-90A. Oh, I don't want to put it like that. It's too prominent. It's going to be taunting me. Taunting me and taunting. Try not to get too much mic noise there, folks. Oh, that looks better. Was I going to use that color scheme? It's a nice one. Here are the, these things were a freaking bitch to build, so I don't know what to say other than they were made up of lots of little tiny parts, but the articulation of this is really good. So when you actually get that on the tank, they look very realistic. So if you're placing these, I like them actually. You know, I look at the quality of the parts for this tank, and I'm quite. I don't want to use the word impressed. I hate that word. No, I think it's good. It's good. It's good. Maybe just good enough to make me finish it. Yeah. I even messed with the little viewport there. Wow. Bristling. Yes, the tank is bristling. Complexity of scale. What is this? Oh, there, you know what? In this as well, there's photo etch. Not bad for, I think, it's only like, how much did I pay? I do believe it's like, oh, there it is, the price, $15. Nothing. Great, great addition. One day, he said, one day. And there you go. To collect the dust. I should put a dust cover on this thing. Oh, so sad. Up there, back on the shelf. You go. And yeah. That was it. Well, basically numbers for the decals. Not much. an army tank. What do you want? Oh, don't fall over. All right. Oh, okay. Well, building is a fun thing to do. And as long as you stay organized and focused and work in segments, you'll be fine. Right? And use a minimal amount of glue. That was one thing that's one thing I'm learning over the course. It's like you don't need to use that much glue, especially with these kits. They just snap together, man. Oh, the coffee's gone cold. Oh, caffeine. Somebody said yesterday to me, what would happen to the world if there was no caffeine? That's not a good question. That's like the end of that's like an apocalyptic question, like the end of the world type of a question. Like, you know, they make a movie about that, you know. What if there was no caffeine? Yeah, so where am I? Focus. 8. 8 seems to be applications of greebles. Cover over a lot of the circles of that. So yeah. All right. The Wi-Fi. D2, D3. Look at that. They have a particular distinction between D2 and D3. One is at the top and one is at the bottom. D2 is at the top. D34. Okay, let's start off with D2 and D3. See? Systematic approach. Yeah. And heck, there is a difference. I don't know how you guys do your sprue cutting. Okay. So like I said, D2. Let's start off with D2, which is this one right here. Cut that off. D2. For the most part, I got these awesome snippers that they're flat on the bottom, so when they cut off, you have very little finishing, if any. Now, half the time I don't even bother. Well, think about it. You're going to be putting paint, so as long as there's enough paint. Okay, let's get this right. This is the correct one. This is the leg. Right leg. Is this right? Is this right? D2 goes here. D2 goes here. Okay. What? Oh. Oh, this is a forever. This is a forever part. Okay. Yeah, once you put this on, well, you know, you put something on, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to glue the fuck out of it. So just like I said, I'm just going to take a little bit of this Tamiya extra thin and doop, one dab on that side. Doop, one dab on that side. There. Put And yeah, see, it didn't fall off. D2, D3, D3, D2, D3. Snip. No, I refuse to do it. Well, what's the point? And even what's the point of this? Showing you for 15 minutes. Well, I include this part because it is. You kind of like it, you kind of don't like it. I think I enjoy it most when I have time to do this. You always hate to be rushed. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, there's a little piece of plastic in there that's preventing it from sitting properly. Oh, come back. There. Fits perfectly. Hey, mister. Oh, I didn't even bother to freaking sand that. Here, let me look. Come on. Don't be lazy. Very, very slight imperfection. Oh, fuck it. There. Yum. Oh, the smell of acetone. I love the smell of acetone in the morning. It smells like Krieger. Yeah. Well, if you built it correctly, there you know it fits. Well, this has got to be of a particular angle. That's fine. There. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. And there you go. Ta-da! 2 parts added to the leg and 10 million more to go. It's okay. It's okay. Well, what can I say? All I can say is this. It is coming to that time again in which we say goodbye. Fail. It's okay. You know what? Thank you, everyone, for enduring yet another microraver build. And life is but a bowl of cherries. And at the bottom, nothing but pits. No, no. That's a horrible misquote. No, everybody, keep Kriegering.